It's nice to be here. This is actually where I'm from, just up the road. So this is coming home, went to college in NCAD. Used to go swimming over in the Ivy Baths. Though I noticed as I walked up, it's now a fitness centre, which is kind of a Celtic tiger thing. When I was in the art college, my grandmother always was terribly disappointed. She'd say things like, "Oh, Jesus, son, why are you doing that art? You should have got a job in Guinness's." And it was a terrible disappointment because I wasn't the number one in Guinness's. Anyway, I've got two roles. One is I lecture in industrial design in the University of Ulster. And the other one is in 2002, I started a company making mobile phone apps for viewing security cameras. And trying to figure out what to talk about today was a bit of a struggle. But this image kind of got me keyed into something. It's actually from a student a couple of years ago who was embarking on an MDes program. And this was kind of the title of her project. That's sort of a visual title of her project. And I really, really liked it. Unfortunately, she didn't get the project done, perhaps because it was just way too abstract. And she didn't know what the project was, and I didn't either. But it's a good image, isn't it? And it's the city of information and being overwhelmed and all that kind of stuff. And kind of, it made me think about where we're going to in respect to all our information. So this talk is called 2009, and it's a little bit spooky. I thought, maybe something Halloween-y might be kind of good for this presentation. So I'm going to, be prepared to be a little bit freaked out, feel a little bit scared. Okay, get your worried, paranoid self on. 2009. Dun-dun, dun-dun. You have no right to privacy. You signed the terms and conditions. It's easier like this. Look at all these great services. You took the cookie. You wear me. You trust us. It's not just data, it's your personal identity. It's 2014 now. I am your wallet. I connect to your machines. Your TV, your car, your security cameras, your fridge, your plumbing, your electricity. You used to think I was just a search engine, a mere map app, and a camera. But I was always so much more. I join your data with data from others, and now I know what you think. I optimize stuff. I make decisions easier. It all slipped by gradually when mobile phones became computers and personal data was surrendered in 2009. Okay. This is not supposed to be a warning talk. This is why I think 2009 was important, and it's a pivot point. I was trying to think, what other pivot points do we know? Everybody knows 1966. That was a very important pivot point if you're a sports fan, an England sports fan. We're constantly reminded that was the year that England won the World Cup. If you're an Irish football sports fan, 1990 was really important. 2009, I think, is a really important pivot point. The iPhone was launched in 2007. It took them another year to launch the App Store. That was really, until 2009, really only 10% of the population had smartphones. It was really kind of a minority thing, very expensive, nobody went for it. It wasn't until quite a lot later that the idea of smartphones became prevalent. And they weren't just phones, they were really beginning to be personal computers. Everybody, that's my phone just going there. It's a smartphone. Why don't I just turn the thingamajig off here? It is actually. Just turn that off. I got it. So yeah, 2009 came along, and big developments. Google decided they would get in on it, and they launched Android. BlackBerry fighting a bit of a rearguard action, because theirs is a phone, really, but increasingly it's an operating system, and they're gradually becoming a computer company, or they would love to, with the launch of OS X next year, very belatedly. The phone companies were in real trouble. They all realized that the game was up and tried to become like smartphones. They launched app stores. These are all history now. Samsung apps launched in 2009 and gone. Nokia Ovi launched in 2009 and gone. Sony Ericsson Play Now Arena launched in 2009 and gone. All the platforms, the mobile phone operators, they were the guys who previous to 2009 were busy selling content and trying to be clever. Now we just think of them as utterly dumb pipes. So you had, for instance, David Beckham enjoying his O2 services at the checkout. I don't know if you remember that advert. And the whole concept of O2 Active launched in 2009 and gone. And Vodafone Live, remember that? It's gone. And Orange World, all gone. So all of those phony things ended, more or less in 2009. And what took over was phones that really belong to computer companies. So the real survivors are Apple, clearly a computer company. Google, clearly a computer company. Microsoft, somewhat late to the game, but clearly a computer company offering a fantastic integrated service with Windows Phone. And BlackBerry, maybe they'll survive because they were a bit of a phone company really, so they might survive, they might not survive. We're now getting into wonderful things. Amazon apps is another very interesting one. And the whole Amazon thing, I wonder will they actually get around to launching a phone? They've already launched a tablet, as you know, and that interesting mobile development. This is all interesting stuff, and the significance of it and the convenience of it, there's a few things that are really significant. One is that the phone is yours personally, unlike any other object, really intensely personal thing. So personal that, in fact, there's a few things that we are all have in common in this room. We could all say that we all have clothes on. That's thousands of years old. We've all got some money probably on us, or maybe not everybody, but we've probably all got some money on us. Hundreds of years old. We've probably all got keys on us, hundreds of years old. But the one thing that I know that we've all got definitely is we've all got a phone. There's nobody here that hasn't got a phone on them now. So phones and clothes. But the thing is that phones, or more particularly personal computers, been around since 2009. That's truly significant change. What we've done is sacrificed a certain amount of our privacy because of the convenience of the services. And this is going to increase. I'm not particularly worried about it. I'm fascinated by it. It's opening up a world of possibilities and hitting industries, I suppose, like publishing in a truly significant way. Here's just some of the stuff that we do on the phones. And this is where the trust comes in. All of this stuff, calls, texts, photos, time, your alarm clocks and so on, games, Twitter, Facebook, your contacts, music, file transfer, swapping files around, your shopping, privacy, home screens, movies, dual screening. I don't know how many people love that. I love it. Dual screening on TV, tweeting while you're looking at the Late Late Show and stuff like that. Or the other fantastic one is Vincent Brown Tonight. It's a Twitter feed with a TV show attached. Making movies, your email, your navigation, your turn-by-turn navigation. Of course, the whole world of apps, the calendar, web browsing, reading, the settings on your phone, your notes, your banking, big deal. All the passwords, you probably keep your passwords on your phone. Voice note recording, voice-activated commands. A lot of people keep their timetables on the phone. All of that generates data. And that data, in turn, is all used to generate your services, and you're beginning to build up a little information world in your phone through which you navigate your life in a daily way. Of course, you trust all of that to the OS provider, Google, for instance. All of that stuff you trust to Google or Apple. The other guys you trust it to is all of it is entrusted to O2 or Vodafone. None of us are worried about that. We just trust it. And what do they do for us? Where's this going to happen? Well, don't forget, you did agree to the terms and conditions. The adverts that you are now receiving, of course, are targeted based on your recent purchases, on your location, on the search terms that you've put in your Google browser, on the browsing history that you've got, not just on your phone, but of course it's synced with your computer. Your email content, which of course you trust to Google, and they read it, and it generates adverts. Your travel history, perhaps, and here'd be an interesting one, the number of people in your address book. Of course, your wallet status, because if we have mobile money, then they'll know how rich you are, so we could send you adverts, or maybe not. Your home address, that would be another interesting one. We could figure out your home address very easily, because you've probably told it what your home address is, because you use Google Maps to home. Your sporting interests, the items that you've shared on Facebook. Of course, your TV viewing habits, because you control your TV, of course, with your mobile phone very soon. The things that you read, perhaps the Gillan Macmillan stuff. Maybe they'll actually sort of target what books they're going to try and sell you next based on the ones that you've already read. I'm not saying that they do that, of course. I'm just saying that it's a possibility. They'd love to do it. And of course, your LinkedIn profile. What a weird thing to trust people with. All of that, that's just the current day stuff. What I'm interested in, and what I'm interested in navigating, is the services that we are about to launch based on the massive sense of convenience and the massive sense of trust that's been built up out of nowhere since 2009. That's it. Thank you.